Yeah. Uh, Good morning, all. We are starting the webinar on how to design and build your dream house in a better way. So to start with, we'll start with the introduction first, like who are we and what exactly we do. It's a very brief introduction. To start with, like our mantra is from concept to concrete. We are a team of architect, engineers, and landscape designers. Uh, we have a staff of around 30, including architect, engineers, interior designers, and landscape designers. We have over 14 years of experience of design and build. We have projects spread across Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Maharashtra. We are a single point contact for architecture, interior, and landscape requirements. We have professionally custom designed, client-friendly building design process, which is actually refined for faster execution. These are some of our lead team members. And this is a brief profile of myself. I have started my career in 1998 in one of the leading architectural teams of that time, Mr. Atomy Associates. And then moved on to HDFC and then again to AHIDCO, that's Housing Development Finance Corporation, as their chief architect. And then I came back to our brainchild firm, Creative House, which was already functioning as it was founded by my wife in year 2002. We are associated with a lot of other organizations like Indian Institute of Architect, Council of Architecture, Indian Green Building Council, Jawaharlal Nehru Architecture and Fine Arts University, Halfstech Interior Design Institute. Here I go as a faculty for teaching. We have we are specialists in residential architecture and design. In residential architecture, we do architecture design, interior design, design build, and landscape design. The topic for today's discussion is learn the better way to build your custom home or how to design and build your dream home faster. So here we'll start with a brief overview, like what is going to be there in this webinar. We start with a brief self-analysis. How much square feet of built-up area do you really need for your family? That we need to analyze first. And once we do this, then we need to actually calculate how much square feet of slab area is allowed in your particular plot concerning the local bylaws. And third thing is basic checks to be done before you purchase the land or even after you purchase the land. And once we have this self-analysis done, we'll go to the next section, that is how does your dream home look like? What's your dream? And the next thing, what are the special features that you're looking to add on in your home? And then brief about designing, planning, detailing of your dream house. And at the last, we'll discuss about the better ways to build your dream home faster. Here, talking about the self-analysis, how much square feet of the built-up area that we are going to build. You need to analyze actually how much is your requirement. Let us say I've given a few two examples here. People say, okay, I need 2000 SFT of the built-up area. So 2000 SFT means they want ground 1000 and above 1000, something like that. Some people say I have a big family, I need around 5000 SFT of the built-up area. That includes ground and above 2 floors. So it depends upon your individual requirement, how much SFT you need to build. And as per that, once you are clear about that, then we need to go to the next question, like whatever plot area that you have purchased, how much are the setbacks that we need to allocate as per the municipal bylaws, apart from building. So once we have those, like for example, in one particular case, they wanted to have 8 feet setback on the front side and 6 feet from all the other sides. So whatever is the leftover area, that's the place where you can really consider building. There are two terminologies in a building construction legally. One is a deviation, one is violation. Deviation is something which is considered in a limit, and violation is something which is beyond a limit, which cannot be tolerated and it is subject to demolition. So we need to find out actually what is the built-up area allowed in that particular area. Then once that is done, then the next important thing is what is the groundwater level that we need to know, and what is the soil load bearing capacity, like how much floors we can go up, or what kind of design we need to design for the foundation. These are the certain things that we can analyze based upon the soil bearing capacity. And then do we have septic tank in that area, electricity in that area? So these things need to be analyzed properly. Now coming to the main subject, this is the aesthetical part of the webinar. what kind of a dream house you are looking at? Are you looking for a very palatial home full of luxury and comfort, or are you looking for a modern home with minimalistic yet contemporary look and feel? So, what kind of dream are you thinking? These are few imagery which we have actually googled and found out just for your reference. Like this is an example of palatial home full of luxury and comfort. Are you looking something similar to this? Or are you looking something similar to this where it is palatial and grand yet the ornamentation is a little bit minimal? Is it something like this? Or are you looking for a very modern, contemporary look with a minimalistic feel? So these are few examples which I found. Here possibly you can see the building has basic geometry and the ornamentation in terms of the design motifs, cornices is totally absent, and even the material finishes are minimal. So these are few examples of things. So what kind of home are you looking at? We need to finalize. Once you are done with that, then we need to actually come into the next part. Like what are the main features of your home? Feature in sense, are you looking for green home with outdoor and indoor landscaping, or are you looking for emission-free, low VOC building and interior material for your construction? And are you going with the total home automation for security and other amenities? Solar energy for light and heating, solar passive building design for efficient building. So these are the few things. We'll go again in brief in the next slide. So this is the example which I have actually found as a reference imagery. Here you can see actually the building, they have been done in a stepped way, or even the terrace are totally landscaped to give thermal comfort inside. This is another example. So whatever you be your contour, the land design, whether it's a sloped or it's a flat land, we can design the building accordingly to give you the green effect feel and look. This is the next slide. Here we are talking about the use of solar energy, uh, both for indoor heating and lighting purpose. And the next slide, actually, here we are talking about solar passive design. This is a part of architectural design. Here we are talking about controlling the temperature inside by means of designing the elements of the building in a better way, like doors and windows. They can be designed in a better way so that the overall comfort is there. You can see here we have shown two examples where the way the wind comes in and goes out, and even the sun, they can be really planned up. So here we need to understand the local climatology of the place. The next section here we are talking about the emission-free or low VOC material for building exterior and interiors. As you know, these days, like, people have become more aware about the use of materials both for architecture and interiors. People are going for more eco-friendly and green products. So here we have done few properties like how you can really select what is a eco-friendly or a green product, or which has got low VOC content. So there should be renewable reuse of the waste product, embodied energy, local availability. So these are some parameters which actually determine the quality of that material. And there are a lot of health hazards of VOC content, like immediate health hazards are eye and respiratory tract irritations, headaches, dizziness, visual disorders, so on. So it's better to be safe side. And the next special feature, what you can really opt on, is home automation. In home automation, you can really go for a complete home automation, wherein you can have internet access and control, motion detector, home theater, even for your exterior landscape irrigation, it can be controlled through home automation. Access control, definitely that's a major important thing. Then the energy management, the heating and the cooling temperatures of the interiors can be controlled. It can be programmed. And then the surveillance cameras for security purpose, and then the multi room audio, that's a home theater, and other music can be controlled. And even you can have a single music in the whole house. Some added features can be added. The pool and spa temperatures can be controlled. Lighting, the telephone and the vehicle detection also can be controlled through home automation. So all these can be extra added features. So now once we are done with the kind of look and feel that you are planning for your building, and what are the added features that you are looking at, then the next thing is the design process. The design process is the most important thing in a building design. Here, what we strongly recommend, as in software industry, even here the specialization is the a requirement of the day. It is best to consult an architect who is specialist in residential architecture and interior design to design your dream house. As construction technology, building material, and design techniques both have evolved and are evolving at a very rapid pace in the residential architecture design. So this is a general process for any building design. It starts with basically site analysis, then schematic design, concept design, design detailing, construction documentation, etc. And once these are done, then we go to the next stage, that is project management. So here in brief, actually we have given an outline like how the site analysis is done, study of slopes, levels of land, contours, etc. with reference to latitude, longitude are done. Check soil composition, study climatology of the place, orientation of north and reference to the site. So check for old structures. So these are certain things that we analyze in a plot. Once we do the site analysis, then the next step is the schematic design. Based on the above inputs, a rough sketch is prepared. Then we have one-to-one meeting with the client. Final ideas are present in form of rough sketches. And then by using the bubble diagram, we try to correlate one function to the other function and how they can be converted to a conceptual plan, which is the next stage. So this is the next stage. Here we are talking about conceptual plan. So here, when the requirements are clear, then we prepare the internal room layout plan, and matching to that, we create exterior building view in the concept design. Once the concepts are finalized, then we go to the next part, that is the design detailing. Here, the exterior detailing, the plumbing, electrical service detailing, the facade detailing, foundation detailing. So all these things are done in the detailing part. After detailing, then the construction documentation. This is important in terms of vendor actually clarity. Vendor specific construction plans are prepared for HVAC, lifts, fabrication, facade elements, etc. And after this, bills of quantities for different materials used in the construction are actually prepared, like steel, wood, marble, cement, etc. And then the tender documents are prepared for the different contractors. Once we do all this, then we have a separate execution team actually who looks after the project management, headed by project manager. So here we do the tentative estimate for total cost of the construction as per the design and finishes project completion schedule, which are actually reviewed weekly and daily as per the site progress. In brief, actually, we have given 5 tips to design and build your dream home faster. Here we talk about the better construction through understanding design, enhanced client communication, faster overall delivery, single point of responsibility, tighter knowledge, and the control of the project. So, talking about the first part, that's better construction through understanding design. Like if you see the traditional construction delivery system, the architecture hands over the design to a contractor or a builder, who eventually constructs and executes the project. So this required your builder has to be knowledgeable enough to understand the designs and interpret them in terms of execution. But many times it doesn't happen so. And so problems arise from the contractor who may not have fully understood the drawings. If there are any issues, they are not properly resolved, addressed, then they surface during the construction. And so there is a misalignment between the design and the actual execution. Whereas in case, if you see the design builder system, where actually there is a single agency who designs and also executes the project, then this kind of coordination issues are not there. Then he is able to perform the construction of the project without any drawbacks. Since they are already into the project, it's easy for them to execute. Then the second one, enhance the client communication. In traditional construction system, what we see, there are so many professionals involved. For example, structural designer, landscape designer, interior designer, HVAC designer. So there are so many designers, and for owner, actually he ends up spending much more time in aligning with these teams and defining the plan of action than he or she would prefer. Whereas in design build system, it involves a single firm who performs the entire process. Starting from design through construction and execution, the client has to deal with a single point contact for all the communications of project, making his own life much easier and hassle-free, the owner's life, I mean to say. And in case of any coordination issues or any other technical issue arise, then it is a responsibility of the design builder and not that of the owner to tackle them. So in this way, if the project is awarded to a design builder, then there is an enhanced communication in terms of project. And then the next is faster overall delivery. In traditional design build system, main and most important thing is the budget disconnect. owner doesn't have clarity regarding how much it's going to cost to complete the whole project. So this lack of agreement between the designer, engineer, the delayed time frame due to redesign, the selection of the contractor within the budget, etc., all lead to the extended time frame in addition to the cost escalation. Whereas in design build project, uh, cost is finalized in advance. There is no question of cost escalation unless until there are variation in the material finishes or there is an upgradation in the design. And additionally, since the client hires a design builder to perform the construction right from the start, the permit process can be initiated as soon as the design is completed and the final sets of plans are copied and printed. So here also we save time actually. So there is a clarity in the cost factor and there is a clarity in the time factor also. The most important thing in this whole process is a single point of responsibility. If you see in traditional system where it's very difficult to find out who is responsible for the mistake that happens on site. There is always a blame game happening on the site. Who has done this mistake and who is responsible for this? So none of the employed parties would want to really take responsibility of a single-handedly in order to avoid penalties of any kind, and thus causing delays in progress of the project. Whereas in design build project, the client has a single person to deal with. And it also adds additional responsibility and pressure on the design builder to make sure that everything is done right and the mistakes are held to the absolute minimum, because he is responsible for all that mistakes and he is penalized for all that. And the last thing is tighter knowledge and control of the project. In traditional project, the owner will be solely responsible for construction management of various aspects of entire project, including the design, technical decision, budgeting, etc. And most owners are not really good at balancing all this. All hired professionals will handle only their part of the job. Often, especially in design and construction of custom homes, and so owner ends up making all the decisions, so which is really not educated for, which is which he is really not trained for, to be more precise. Whereas in design build project, a single firm handles everything, which creates huge advantage for the owner, as coordination and management of the entire project is now the responsibility of that firm's lead. If need be, owner needs only to manage the single point of contact. That's the max you need to do. So that's the basic of our presentation. Like how can you really save the time and money and move things faster? This can be done better way by hiring a design and builder who can really do designing of the project and execute the project as per the design with restricted budget and time. Unfortunately, I can't include every important piece of information about design, build, system on the project and delivery successful in this seminar in particular, but that we can be discussed case to case depending upon the project, because every project is different and the requirements are different. Now coming to the next part of the slide, here we are talking about some of the completed projects that we have done. So this is a project that we have done in Bovenpalli, Hyderabad. So it's a G+2. Here we have done architectural design and the interior design. This is the second slide. This belongs to a single family uh, who wanted a triplex from inside. So we have designed this in a narrow piece of a land for them. We have done both architecture and interiors. This client actually wanted three different portions in a piece of land, and the building he wanted in a very different style of architecture. This particular client is a Rajasthani client and he wanted that Rajasthani style of architecture to be embedded in his current house. So we have tried to do justice using those elements of Rajasthani architecture into his building. And this is a classical piece of architecture which we have done for a client in Bangalore. This is farmhouse actually. And for this client, actually, we did something contemporary with minimalistic look. But still, we have tried to decorate the building with some ornamental glass designs. And these are some of the current projects. This is a home for a software couple. So we have done accordingly. They wanted to retain their existing greenery, so we have tried to do that. And this is again another building that we are designing. This gentleman actually wanted a different look and feel of the architecture, so we have tried to do justice in that way. These are some of the articles that we have published in the magazines recently, and these are some of our existing clients. And these are some of the testimonials actually which are available on our website. You can refer to. And these are some of our branch offices located in India. One is in Mumbai, Pune, Vizag, and Hyderabad. So that completes my part of presentation. If possibly you have any questions, we can discuss further.